So today I'm talking about 5 essential tools that every business owner, every entrepreneur needs to help them run their business on autopilot. It's already stressful enough running a business, like growing a brand. That's already hard enough. You don't want to make it any harder on yourself. And we have the tech, we have the tools, we have the software to automate and like optimize a lot of what we do. With the right tools, you can automate like 70-80% of your business if you get the systems in place. That way you have more time to focus on growth, scaling, and just like living your life, not like stressing out constantly trying to keep your business afloat. So in this video, I'm gonna talk about some of the best platforms. Some of the ones I suggest are the ones that I use, why they matter, and the different use cases for them. Right? Also, make sure you watch the end because I'm gonna give you a bonus tool that you can use that it's gonna cherry on top, sprinkles and cherries on top. All right. So yeah, let's hop right into it. So the first tool, and this is the one that I see missing from most people's digital infrastructure, a CRM, or customer relationship management system. And this is basically somewhere where you have all of your customers' data, any potential leads, interactions, meeting notes, tags, segments, like you have all of that in one place. Instead of having to use emails and social media and DM and different notebooks and all this different stuff all over the place, it allows you to keep everything organized and under one digital roof, so to speak. So for me, my go-to platform is Go High Level. This is basically an all-in-one marketing system. There's websites, funnels, forms, reviews. You can schedule social media content here. You can do pretty much like 95% of what you need can be done in platform. But one of the biggest kind of, I want to say selling points, but one of the most important features of a CRM is having a pipeline. This is kind of like a board version of your funnel. Your audience goes to, or any potential leads. This is the process they go through in order to become a customer, right? So for me, you see up here, new lead, with lead contacted, lead in conversation, lead ghosted, and so on, right? And you see over here, scheduled calls, confirmed calls, and eventually they'll end up getting moved to the one client's pipeline, which is basically just the next steps after they become a client. You got to have those next steps for when they become a client, sending out the invoice, sending out the contract, getting them onboarded, having them fill out any forms, having your first call or your first meeting, whatever it is, whatever the process looks like for you. When it comes to your funnel and your pipeline, it's going to look different for everybody. Some people are only going to have 1 or 2 steps. Other people will have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 steps, right? But this allows you to keep and follow up with all of your potential clients and stay on top of those relationships so that you can turn those leads into paying clients, right? Ideally, you want your CRM to be collecting leads from your website, which I'm going to talk about in the next tool, which is email marketing platform. But a lot of email marketing platforms now have CRM features or CRM capabilities. So it's not that you necessarily need a full CRM on its own. There are other platforms that you can use, and you can just use an email marketing platform, or you can create your own CRM dashboard in Notion, which is something I've also done as well. But you want to have somewhere, no matter what you do, whether it's in a CRM like High Level, or if you're using something like a ConvertKit or GetResponse where they kind of have CRM capabilities, you want to make sure you have somewhere where you can keep track of the people you're talking to, where you are with those conversations, and how you're progressing them along down your funnel. That makes sense? So the CRM should be collecting leads from your website, your social media, your email, collecting those automatically. And then you want to have automations or a workflow set up for follow-ups, for reminders, and for nurturing those leads, so you don't end up losing those potential leads who might be interested in buying, right? So like I said, High Level is the platform that I like to use. There's also HubSpot, there's Zoho. There's a bunch out there. All you got to do is Google CRM. If you provide a service like lashes, makeup, hair, anything like that, Honeybook is a really good CRM that kind of like works well with the beauty industry. Look around on YouTube and see what platform might be the best for you. Compare it to some different ones. But you want to have somewhere where you're tracking all your customers, all your clients, of the conversations you're all having, the progress you're making on their project or whatever you're working on with them. You want to keep that all in one place and organize and have a central place that you can track all the information, right? So next must-have tool is going to be your email marketing platform. Now, your next must-have tool is going to be an email marketing platform. You need somewhere to stay in contact with your audience. You want to have a contact list that you own, and an email platform allows you to grow that list. It'll be the same as a CRM, like you can grow your email list there, assuming they allow email marketing. But and email marketing is going to be one of your most consistent platforms when it comes to a high ROI marketing channel, right? And that basically means when it comes to social media, when it comes to TikTok, Instagram, like all these different platforms, you're up against the algorithm, you're up against everybody that's posting content. You don't control who gets to see your content. You kind of just put it out there and hope it gets shown to the right person. But when you have an email marketing platform or a CRM, you have a place where you're collecting email lists or contact information, and you use this to send direct messages, direct emails, whatever, that's going to be your highest ROI, because you're sending your content, you're sending your messaging to somebody who's already agreed to receive messages from you. And that kind of becomes the lowest barrier to entry to getting somebody to buy from you. You can send an email tomorrow with a link to buy something or offer for a program, and you can make money immediately as long as you have people on your email list that have agreed to be there, right? So whether you're selling digital products, e-commerce, coaching, whatever it is, an email marketing platform is going to be pretty essential in building up the foundation for that, and not just communicating with your audience and communicating with potential leads, but building a relationship, providing them value, showing them different case studies, different testimonials. So for me, I use Go High Level for my email marketing, but like I said, there are other platforms. There's a ConvertKit, it's another solid platform, or Kit as they like to be called now, which I don't like that name change, but whatever. ConvertKit is a good one. Get Response, also another good one. HubSpot, like I mentioned earlier. Beehive is a good one for if you are more focused on a newsletter. MailerLite, also really solid. Kind of a low cost option for email marketing. Like I said, there's no like right or wrong one perfect answer. You kind of just have to figure out which one works best for you, both with your budget, how many people are on your email list, and what you're going to be using it for. But find a platform and just kind of stick with it. Ideally, you want to make sure it fills any gaps or does everything that you need it to do. You want to make sure at the very bare minimum, you want to be able to create workflows or automations. Those are basically different series that you set up that are going to be sent out automatically, right? So for example, for me, when anybody signs up for a lead magnet, right? If anybody goes and downloads one of my lead magnets, they're going to go through a series. So you basically want to be able to set something like this up in whatever platform you're using. These usually tend to work off triggers. So it'd be somebody signs up for a forum, somebody joins a list, somebody purchases a product. That's going to act as a trigger, which makes the automation or the workflow start working, right? So for this one, this is to download my unique strategy guide, which I actually changed. It's something different now, but they're going to come in here. Once they download it, they're going to get a tag added to them. So I know this is what brought them in here. This is how they got here. I know that's why they're here. New lead opportunity. This is going to add them to my pipeline. Remember when I mentioned in the CRM, the pipeline, how you have different stages. This is going to automatically add them to that pipeline. You can set this up different ways in different platforms. It just depends on how they're set up and how they're structured. But then they're also going to get a welcome and delivery email, right? And this is all stuff that's happening automatically. So if somebody downloads my guide at 1 a.m, this is going to happen automatically, whether I'm awake, whether I touch it. I don't have to touch it. I don't have to do anything. It's already set up and done, so that whenever somebody triggers it, it just automatically is working for me. So sends out a welcome email telling them like, hey, here's your product. Here's where you go download it. Be on the lookout because I'm going to send you some more emails. Then after that, they get added to the workflow. Here is where they get added to my welcome series. Let's say they download this tomorrow. The day after that, they're going to start getting my welcome series. They're going to get the welcome email today after they download it. And then the next day, they're going to start getting messages from my welcome series. The welcome series is basically just a way to kind of like welcome people into my community, welcome people into my brand, my business, kind of tell them about what I do. And you can set these up different ways. I think I have 8 or something, but I've seen people whose welcome series goes on for weeks. So mine is only going to last like 8-9 days because I don't send out emails on Sunday. But it can be 1-2 emails welcoming. It can be a week long. It could be a month long. It all depends on you and what works for your brand, what you've tried and what you've tested out. This just allows you to start building relationships with your audience. You can start adding links to different things. In here, I have links to different affiliate products that I promote, access to different levels of my product suite, my community, my coaching. I talk about testimonials, past experiences. I dive into different areas in the welcome series to get people welcomed in. When you are signing up for an email marketing platform, no matter which one it is, you want to make sure you have some type of automation or workflow feature so that you can get those set up and have those emails being sent out automatically. Welcome series, super important. Abandoned cart series, also super important. If somebody starts buying, like they put something into the cart but then they leave, having an abandoned cart series, recover that lost sale, super important. If you have that capability, not all websites or platforms have that. And then being able to add tags and segment your email list. So I know who downloaded what freebies, or I know this person signed up because they're looking for help with this, or they joined through this workshop. But just having those different ways of tagging and organizing your audience will help you be able to create more specific and targeted content in the future, right? So yeah, like I said, I use High Level all in one platform. If you want to check it out, there's a link down below for like a 14-day free. Get Response, good one. HubSpot, good one. Beehive, solid. Mailer, also solid. There's a lot of different options. No shortage. Another one of those ones where you got to look around, see what works for your budget, how many people you have on your email list, all of that. If you have any questions, you're not sure what to use, you're not sure where to get started, let me know in the comments. I'll see if I can help out. All right. So next, you want to have a content planner and or scheduler, right? This is really important because if you're just posting content on the fly, if you're just trying to kind of post every day, it becomes a wear and tear on you. It's a lot more time, effort, and energy than a lot of people realize. And you end up wasting time and losing consistency because you can't maintain it. You can't keep up with it. Life happens, your business happens, your brand happens. Like all this stuff is going to happen that's going to kind of like knock you off. And you have to have a system and a process in place. And that kind of gets started with having a planner and a scheduler, right? That way you can batch out your content, you can plan ahead, plan your campaigns, plan the content you're shooting in advance, get it worked out so that you can stay consistent and not have to stress over what content you should be focusing on. And did I get anything posted today? Oh, I forgot to post. Like, you don't want to deal with any of that. You don't want to deal with any of that stress, right? So for me, I do my planning in two places. All right, so this is the Content Control Center in my Notion. This is a template I created, something I put together, essentially kind of like a production line for my content, right? And you're going to see it looks very similar to the CRM that we used earlier, right? So down here, I have all the different stages for my different pieces of content, right? So start content to prep, create it, ready for review, all the way over to schedule, ready to post, right? And this allows me to like have a constant workplace or kind of work center. And then down here at the bottom, I just have literally a bunch of different content ideas that I can always be pulling from. So this is like my planning station. This is where I come in every day. I'll take an idea or have something that I'm working on, open it up, and I'll get to writing either a draft or something. I'll flush something out, turn that into a blog, turn that into an email, turn that into a carousel, at least the outlines for them. I'll get them all prepped and written out, kind of like get the copy written so that I know when I get to my day off or when I'm recording, I have a bunch of like scripts or outlines or walkthroughs that I have ready. I'm like, okay, I know I'm getting this recorded. And then when I start scheduling stuff, come down here to my posting calendar and I can start scheduling from down here. So I can literally just take something from up here, drop it into my calendar. Now it's scheduled, right? And I can just literally go through and just schedule everything out this month, next month, whatever, however I'm doing it. So if you don't know how to use Notion, or if you never use Notion, it can be kind of intimidating at first. It can be kind of a lot, but it's really intuitive once you get into it and get used to using it. And there's a lot of different like tips and things that you can do to make it really work for you. So this is part one or phase one of my content. Once it's all produced and edited and got everything scheduled, everything's written out, ready to get posted, I use what's called Metricool. Metricool. So once I get all of that kind of flushed out, scheduled, I know when it's going to be posted. I have all my drafts written. I have all the images done for the carousels. I have my YouTube recorded, ready to go. Like once everything is done, then it gets put into the scheduler. And for me, I use Metricool because I like the analytics side of it. It has a very in-depth analytics dashboard, but there's a lot of different options you can use. HubSpot, Later, Planoly. There's a lot of different ones you can use. Google Content Scheduler, social media scheduler, social media planner. There'll be a bunch that come up. But like I said, I just like Metricool. It's not over the top. It has analytics. It has an inbox where you can check all your messages and your comments from different platforms. You can do your scheduling. And what I really like about their scheduling is that you can schedule, like, let's say you have a reel that you want to post across multiple platforms. You can come in here and schedule it all out with one post. But you can use one post to schedule one reel across all your different platforms. You can schedule a long post, a written post, a carousel. You can schedule that all in here and across different platforms. And if there's any issues, they'll tell you like, oh, you have to at least put one character or one media file. Oh, this is too long. Oh, it needs one image, one video, whatever. It's going to tell you what needs to be done to make sure you're set for it to be posted, right? You can tag other users. You can tag collaborators, which I didn't even realize until recently. Shout out to Samine, she showed me that. But you can do everything that you need to do inside here. You can see how it's going to look on your different platforms. Clicking up here, see how it's going to look. But yeah, that's why I like this platform. I'm sure there's other ones that are just as good, other ones that are helpful. Buffer and Later and Hootsuite are the kind of main ones I can think of or remember. But yeah, this is my go-to for my content planner. So this in combination with my Notion, I'll use the Notion to come up with ideas, log all my ideas, strategize, come up with campaigns, everything like that. So Notion becomes kind of like my content control center, like I said. That's why I titled it like that. And by the way, if you want this template, it is available for free inside my community. There's a bunch of different resources and stuff in there, including courses, different Notion templates, guides, walkthroughs, different stuff like that. So check that out. There'll be a link in the bio. But yeah, I use Notion as kind of like my content database. I log all my ideas, everything in there, and then I'll get it produced and scheduled with Metricool. Now, the production part, that becomes the next set of tools that are essential for your business or for your brand. You need to have a content suite, which is basically the different apps or softwares or platforms that you use to edit and create any content that you do, right? So for me, my main platform I use is called Descript. Let's see. So Descript is a really good video editing platform for a couple of reasons. It has cloud access, which means I can give access to my virtual assistant in the Philippines, and she can come in and do the editing and remove any mess ups or outtakes or anything I don't like. Then I can go in and do any final editing, any cleaning up that needs to be done. So I really like it for that reason. Another reason is that it has text-based editing, which basically means you can go through and pull stuff out and just hit delete, and it's going to take that out of the video. You can also go through, find a piece that you like, find a clip that you like. You can copy this. You can export the transcript and add that to ChatGPT and tell it to turn it into a blog post or an email or a carousel. Or you can take this and you select the section that you like, and you're going to right click it, and you can duplicate to new composition, which will take this and basically turn it into a little clip. So what I'll do is I'll record my long forms, kind of like stuff like this, record some long forms, and then when I go through, I'll go through and pull out different clips and add those to my new composition, right? That becomes up here, and I can go through and look at the clip that I pulled out. And then that allows me to have like different clips ready to be posted to Reels, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, stuff like that. They also have captions, they have titles in here, they have some B-roll, but it's not the best for like adding those different edits and transitions and stuff. It's not the best for that. For that, I would recommend CapCut, which is my other go-to platform. So this is one of the most popular platforms that a lot of people go to, mainly because it's really easy to use. It's super mobile friendly. The version on your phone, very easy to use, very intuitive. So much so that the other platforms are kind of like taking its style and using it as their own. But it also has a desktop version. Either way, it's a bunch of good templates, a bunch of great transitions. They have B-roll, they have sound effects to make adjustments. You can do all types of stuff. But the combination of Descript and CapCut, kind of like the top 1-2 punch combo when it comes to content. Another solid one is DaVinci Resolve. That one has a free version, but also has a paid version. It also has cloud editing, but is not as, I don't want to say as beginner friendly. There's a little bit of a learning curve that comes with it. Another one that's solid is called InShot. Another great mobile editor. You want to know what platforms you're using to edit your content. You want to have kind of like consistent platforms that you're using so that you know exactly how to use them. You get really good at them. You get really fast at them. You learn how to, like, the little tips, the little tricks. And you can also create your own templates or your own style so that every time you create your content in there, or every time you upload your content in there, you know exactly, okay, I'm using this filter, I'm using this edit, I'm using these transitions. Boom, boom. It makes creating content a lot easier because you have a system and a process behind it. You have a solid workflow that you know this works, this gets this done, this is how I use it. Now it just becomes about showing up with the content and everything else. If you are an image person or a graphic person, or if you need thumbnails or anything like that, go-to is going to be Canva. If you've never heard of Canva, Canva is like Photoshop for dummies, but better because it's really simple, straightforward, easy to use. A bunch of templates. You can use, search for YouTube thumbnails. They'll give you a bunch of templates where you just got to go in and make an adjustment. So templates over here, boom, a whole bunch of different kinds, different sizes. I actually really like this one. You change this out for like a picture of you, make this as a title. No, this is really solid actually. So yeah, Canva has a bunch of different templates. They have a free version, very simple, very straightforward. Lots of tutorials on YouTube if you need help figuring it out. Again, another place where you can create templates or use kind of like a similar style or structure to do all your thumbnails or do all your reel covers or your carousels or ebook covers, whatever it is. Canva is like the kind of go-to for that. If you want another option for design, if you want more freedom and creativity and expansiveness when it comes to your design and stuff, Figma is going to be the go-to, especially because this one has a collaborative feature where you can work with different people. But yeah, super solid. I've never used it, but I've heard of a lot of people who use it. They swear by it. It's probably one of the top in the space besides Canva. So another good option, something you can try out. And then the last and final, probably most important piece of your business, the tool you need to make sure everything is running smoothly, is having a payment processor. And PayPal's cool, but I've had issues with them like holding funds. Stripe is going to be like, some people have problems with Stripes depending on what industry you're in. I think credit might have an issue with Stripe, but for the most part, Stripe is like the GOAT when it comes to payment processing. Stripe or Square. Those would be the only two I would really recommend. And again, all the tools I'm suggesting, these are all things that I've tried or I use. There are other ones out there. You just have to go research and find out which one makes the most sense for you, which one you like best. But like I said, I like Stripe. I like the way it works. I like how you can use it. It has its own invoicing system, so you can come in and create an invoice, select the customer, choose an item based on any products that you have inside. You can change the price. You can do recurring payments, split payments, different things like that, like a bunch of different options. But Stripe is going to be the go-to. And if you pair Stripe with a platform called esignatures.io, is a great place to use for sending out contracts. So worst case scenario, like I said, for me, I use high level, again, all in one platform, have everything you need, and it actually integrates with Stripe. So it's connected to my Stripe account. So all my products and everything are connected straight to my Stripe account. But yeah, using Stripe to send out any invoices, to keep track of your dashboard, keep track of all your sales, Stripe is going to be the go-to for me. And it integrates with most platforms. And like I said, you pair this with e-signatures and plus the other tools that I already gave you, and you kind of like have the digital business infrastructure that you need to kind of scale and grow and see success. And like I promised, I was going to give you all a bonus tool. And it's not so much a tool, it's more so like a group of tools, but it's an automation platform, which my go-to is going to be Zapier, which basically means you can set up an automation so that if you have one website and you want it to talk to another website, if you have a platform, you want it to connect to another platform, this is going to be your go-to. You can literally come in here and search for, like, literally tell it what you want to automate. You can explore different apps, Google Sheets, Gmail, Slack, Google Calendar, MailChimp, Google Forms. Like, they have all the different platforms. Another option is called ifttt.com, which stands for if this, then that. But it basically allows you to set up automations with different platforms. Quickly create events in Google Calendar. You get weather forecasts up every day, updates your Android wallpaper. I don't even know how that works, but tweet at Instagram as photo on Twitter. And then another one is going to be called make.com. I believe that's what it is. Yeah, make.com. And it's going to be similar, same thing. You set up different automations and it goes crazy. There's a bunch you can do, from creating content, scheduling content, using ChatGPT. Like literally, the possibilities are low-key endless. And you can learn how to set these up on your own, doing it yourself using YouTube. If you don't want to learn yourself, you can always go to Fiverr and type in make automation, and you can usually find a freelancer or somebody who can set them up for you. I will be automation expert for custom workflows. I will make.com a Zapier automation expert. I will create automation using Integromat, API, and Python, extra stuff. But yeah, you can do Zapier and you're going to find people who can set up automations for you, right? And again, if you want to do it yourself, you can always look on YouTube, study different courses, different things. You can always do it yourself, but this just makes it easier and faster, especially if you pay somebody on here to kind of like teach you and coach you how to use it. But yeah, those are the main platforms I would suggest using. Those are the ones I use to keep my business running, are the main ones I use. There, like I said, there are a bunch of different ones out there, but you want to make sure you have those main ones: a payment processing system, place to send invoices, a content suite where you do all your editing, a content planner and scheduler so you can kind of like keep track and organize your content, email marketing platform, and a CRM. You want to make sure you have those, all right? Those are going to be the most essential and the most crucial when it comes to making sure your business is running on autopilot, right? You'll get a lot of time back, you'll get a lot of your hours back, and you're going to free up a lot of stress that you might have been holding on to so that you can focus on what really matters, and that's growing your business, all right? So if you're using any of these, let me know. Are you using any of them? If you're not, and if you don't have any of these, let me know and we can figure out which ones you need. Let me know. I'll give you some recommendations. All right. But yeah, links down below, all that stuff. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, do all the things with the things. All right. And if you want some extra guided help, make sure you check out my community. Links in the bio. All right. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.